Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to Our Stock Trades. How's everyone doing today? All right, ladies and gentlemen. First things first, what's going on, Janitsky? Hello, hello. Smash the like button. Amazing, amazing. Let's run through the comments. A penny increase, right? Amazing penny, right? Same here. I don't know. The fuck even I'm even awake. I just came here to be passed for a few minutes and watched the masterpiece that Al drops tomorrow morning. Absolutely, right? What's going on, everybody? D&D names are the best. Let's see here. Never played and DD, and was on the tennis court. Would that make DD more? Oh, don't know what's going on there. Excellent, excellent. Just kind of going through the comments. Cool. So is everyone here? All Stock Trades members? Most, I believe. Excellent. As of now, a firm really helped me make the cost manageable, and I've made several times the entry using the tools to day trade the S&P 500, which is SPX. SPX is the larger one. Which tools do you find useful? Most don't day trade. They usually find undervalued companies. Excellent, excellent. Calculating intrinsic value of the company is a key. GPS, so to speak, to be able to get shares at a discount. Excellent, excellent. Jamie, the market net flow shows a nice graphic of options premium. Yes, it certainly does. Absolutely, absolutely. Moscow Mule and live with Al. What more could you ask for? Hell yeah, baby. I'm doing the coffee like always. My apologies, master. All right, so this video is going to be very important. We're going to be talking about a few things, especially with Palantir. Today, if you didn't catch in the internal stock terminal Discord, we had a wonderful discussion with Master the Chin, pro integrated analysis player one, right? And we had my hands are really dry. Sorry, ADHD here. But yeah, we had a wonderful, wonderful discussion. And, we found something intriguing we were talking about. But before we get into that, obviously, let's go ahead and speak about a couple things. First things, for some reason, this gentleman here by the name of, first let me start off with this. So there's a gentleman by the name of Brandon Keeler. I was, message today saying that he posted a screenshot of my, Twitter, Reddit handle. And this is when I was making a post for Centers of Medicare and Medicaid. They literally asked, we're looking for experts in health IT to share their ideas on, to create any Senate, essentially they've opened it to the public forum. And then this gentleman comes online and says, can I believe a Wall Street bet style subreddit is trying to pump Clover Health by a mass comment campaign on the new CMS RFI? But lo and behold, here we are. Edit, since some appear to have somehow interpreted this to be a knock on, oh, there it is, Clover. So he recently edited his post. I should clarify, as that's not the case at all. The thing that is insane is that the subreddit are mobilizing on regulation.gov to try to influence government policy to pump stocks they like. That's incorrect. That's false. Unexpected intersection of these two worlds. So, I wasn't going to get involved. I was just going to have Clover Health go ahead and, do their magic and do their work in proving what Clover Health is all about. But, this gentleman obviously has no understanding of what's going on in the market. He's basically saying that we're trying to influence government policy. He obviously doesn't understand and doesn't have maybe the frontal lobe intelligence to figure out that this physician here is part of Clover Health's, if I stand corrected, Chief Medical Officer, CMO of the value-based care of Clover Health. And here she is with the senator of Iowa. So it's very clear that Clover Health's team is testifying before the Senate Budget Committee. And, this gentleman is basically saying that Clover Health is, our voices can't be heard, and he's trying to ding on our voices, right? So, so he's saying that we're trying to pump the stock. First off, Brandon, you're foolish, you're disrespectful, and you're uneducated. We're not trying to pump anything. We are advocating for patient care. And speaking of which, you are not a doctor. You have not passed. First off, you haven't even gotten accepted into medical school. Number one, you have not passed the United States Medical Licensing Examination, step 1. You have not passed the United States Medical Licensing Examination, step 2. But guess who took those exams and passed? I did, right? Guess who's in medical school? I am. I have over 5,000 hours of clinical, 5,000 clinical hours beyond that by now, right? And here you are as a computer scientist trying to act like you know what you're talking about, when in reality, people need to figure something out. This gentleman has a company, and I'm not going to go ahead and go to the website because I don't want that traffic to you, but he's a competitor of Clover Health, a would-be competitor, a competitor that is trying to somewhat do the same thing, but has not yet gotten at a level of Clover Health's influence. So I go ahead and I give him a response, right? And obviously here's the go-and-so trader trying to light the match, right? So he pulled me in. And here we are talking, and I went ahead and I basically gave him a first principles approach, and I'll read it to you guys. Then he comes online and he says, backdropping, and I'm going to unlike this comment now. I'm going to unlike this comment. He's like, LOL, I'm not a critic of Clover. I like the company. And he's trying to backpedal because he realized that he's talking to someone who actually knows what the fuck he's talking about. Right? I'm not your typical Redditor YouTuber, right? I have over 12 years of experience in the academic process. I'm a researcher, and by the time I finish medical school, I have 5 degrees, 3 undergraduate degrees, a master's, and a medical doctorate degree from a United States LCME accredited medical school. So you're going to come out at me in my territory, and also I've been investing for over 14 years. And I built a software company and many other companies in the background that I haven't discussed online. He goes ahead and says, I thought it was funny that Reddit is commenting on federal RFIs in an attempt to help stocks they like. No, that's not what we're trying to do. We're not trying to help stocks we like. The stock is doing incredibly well already. They're already free cash flow positive on an operational and FCF adjusted fiscal year basis in 2024. They are already doing great in the Medicare Advantage platform. Okay, they are already doing great, right? We don't need we don't need to pump the stock. Okay, so you're initiating a negative connotation when you don't even understand, first off, medicine. You haven't even taken the United States medical licensing examinations. I have. Okay, and 2, you don't know shit about SEC filings. You don't know shit about intrinsic value. You're going ahead and you're saying it's not likely to be effective as the federal government is looking for policy ideas. What are you talking about not being affected? Don't you see here the chief medical officer of value-based care, whom the chief medical officer of value-based care in Iowa? Who the hell is she sitting next to? A freaking senator. So don't tell me about policy, right? You can go F yourself, okay? You're going to go ahead and tell me that my advocacy is considered pumping, and you're going ahead and you're telling me that my advocacy, right, is considered not helpful? No, you're the part of the problem that want future doctors and doctors to remain quiet. No, we're not going to remain quiet anymore, right? If you look at the number of administrators and physician graphs, if you look at the number of physicians and administrator graphs, we're sick and tired of administrators like yourself trying to dictate what future doctors and doctors should talk about. You should go screw yourself. We're sick and tired of the system screwing patients. And yes, I'm going ahead and I'm advocating to CMS. Why? Because they have opened the form to individuals that are in the healthcare space and beyond. If you want to go ahead and be an advocate, go to medical school. But do you have the brain power and the capacity in your frontal lobe to even have the grades, straight A's like I do, to even get in medical school? No, you don't. So stay in your freaking lane and open up your Python and start coding. And get the hell out of fucking healthcare. Because we're taking it control. We're taking it back. So open up your stupid little computer and start coding while you still have a chance before AI takes your job. Don't come in my territory. You know how many hours I spent taking care of patients? Don't come in my territory telling me that my advocacy is not going to work. It's not likely to be effective. Go screw yourself. You don't know shit about how to read a white paper. Go ahead and look at the medical adherence, right? Number one. Number two, go ahead and take a look at the A1C stabilization. Number three, go ahead and look at the CKD stabilization of stage 3A to stage 3B for chronic kidney disease for Clover Health patients that are using the counterpart assistant, aka Clover Assistant. Go ahead and take a look at the most recent white paper that talked about decreased hospitalizations for people with congestive heart failure. Do you even know the medical background and science between congestive heart failure and how to look at the clinical signs associated with that, with pro-BNP, and looking at all that issue with cardiorenal failure? Do you even know any of that? No, you don't. So don't come at me and telling me what advocacy helps. We're sick and tired as future doctors. We're sick and tired of the system screwing over patients. So yes, to all you people out there that are watching Al Stock Trades, yes, you do have the power to change healthcare. Yes, your voices can be heard. Yes, Dr. Oz will read this. I know Dr. Oz through my mentor, Dr. Lamole, right? We know him indirectly. He's going to read this. Don't you ever think that your advocacy will not be heard from a single person like this individual who just wants attention to his company? Screw you. Why don't you garner attention like Clover Health through putting your head down and working? We have industry-leading MCR, improving HEDIS scoring systems that's going to help us in the next 2 to 3 years. You confuse me with other Redditors that don't have frontal lobes in Wall Street bets that drink urine. That's not me. If you want to go ahead and debate me, come at me. I have eight different chessboards stacked up top of each other. And I've literally read every single filing of this company. You want to come at me with healthcare? Have you even stepped inside of a clinic? Do you even know what ails a patient? Trying to pump a stock. I don't need to pump a stock. I don't do that. I'm not in the business of doing that. We're taking it from a bottom up to top approach. And we're letting the government know by the people as an American citizen what they should be looking at. And if you're going to go ahead and tell me my advocacy doesn't matter, screw you. Get the hell out of healthcare. It's been, 20 years, and how many physicians are there? We're little. We're nothing. So yes, after I gave him this comment, he realized he was in over his head. And then he started to basically backpedal. And then he has the audacity to edit his post and to say, I should clarify. And then you've had people here. This MD is kind of funny. It's like GameStop, except with people's health. That's funny, right? I'm nice to you as you're a fellow MD. But this is it right here. Right? When you attack a company, you should have a list of some grounds, unless you're a paid mod. Obviously, you have no idea what you're talking about. Otherwise, you should know that Clover Health has the best MCR in the freaking country. Telling me, to all the doctors that are listening right now in this chat, you should be proud. You should be proud that the future of medicine doesn't give a shit about how they look like on social media. We will fight for our freaking patients. We will fight tooth and nail for our patients. We're sick and tired of administrators telling us what to do. We're sick and tired of people telling us, oh, your advocacy doesn't matter. Shut the hell up. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Are generally ineffective. Shut the hell up. You're just jealous that that no one's talking about your company. All these idiots that you're all these people that you're seeing talking about pump and dumps, they don't know nothing about intrinsic value. You don't need to pump a company that's doing great, that's about to become profitable. Any case, I'm just really pissed. You have doctors like her that are kicking ass right now, that are talking to Chuck, a ranking member of the Senate Budget Committee, who's looking at Dr. Taylor for her amazing work at Clover Health. See if they, Christina Taylor. I need to take a look at this for a sec. Give me a moment. Let me see. Is this the one that went to the? No, she got her Iowa. I don't know. She got her Iowa education. I don't know if she did a fellow. One of people's in Clover's team, they went to University of Arizona. I don't remember which one. Yeah, I'm connected to Dr. Taylor. But anywho, we're just sick and tired of telling me that, oh, it's ineffective. This guy doesn't even know that they're signing national players, and he's about to be put in his place. Okay? Yeah, that's that 2X cold brew. For all the people out there that are tired of patients getting screwed over, we're tired of this is the graph we're tired about. If you want to understand what's wrong with healthcare, look at the number of physicians growth. It has remained stagnant. And look at the number of administrators. They've taken our control away from healing the patient. We have no control anymore. So we are advocating now for our patients using software, using AI, using everything we can do. And then you have someone out there telling us that our advocacy is not going to be effective. Screw you, dude. Screw you, pal. Screw you. I got patients that are dying left and right because of a freaking broken healthcare system. I'm going to do whatever in my power is that I can do to advocate for my patients. And you're not taking that away from me. All right. Anyway, enough talking about this piece of shit. Telling me about pumping. I ain't pumping shit. I ain't tell no one to buy nothing. Right? The second thing I want to talk about is I went ahead and retweeted this. This guy came here and he said, interesting take on Clove. Then he went ahead and says, this guy's insights always help cut through the noise. This is a scammer. This guy here, this is obviously a fake picture. Be careful and be wary with scammers. Members in our WhatsApp group realize gains of between 80 to 20. This is, again, the reason why I know like this looks like a scam is because this guy commented on my post, and then I tried to reply and like, you're a scammer. And then the author blocked me. So he commented on my post, right? He commented on my post, and then this piece of shit blocked me. So, and obviously this guy has 0 followers, right? And what he's doing is he's trying to redirect traffic. So what I did is now I tagged this, scammer, this piece of shit scammer, and I screenshotted this. Don't fall ill. You see, that's the issue when it comes to our platform. Whenever I talk about my SaaS coupon code at alstocktrades.com, it's so sad because a lot of people out there, they're like, well, yep, it's another guy trying to sell his product. No, guys, this product works. And, just talk to our members that are lifetime, that are watching right now and whatnot. But I get it. It's because there's like assholes like this that are not truthful. And unfortunately, they go in and they, and I bet you this guy's about to block me now too, because I'm killing his business model, right? But I'm curious to see, this guy. Let's see if he's ever talked about CLOV. Nothing. He's about to, probably, right? It's a scam. It's a pure scam, right? It's a pure scam. Look at this. This is his stock recommendation. Look at this idiot, right? So entry price 21 cents. Okay. First off, let's take a look at this stock. Okay, it doesn't even come up. What the hell is Buru? And I've never heard that. 37 cents. Okay, so he goes in. He's an entry, this and that, right? 19 million. Okay, so he goes in, and let's see. Let's go ahead and backtrack this to show you these scammers. So he did it at 6:42 a.m. today. 6:42 in the morning. So 6:42 is considered. See, this is. Here, let me see. One moment. Yeah. Watch this. Let me try to show you these scammers. So he says it at 6:42 in the morning. Entry price 21 cents. Okay. So at 6:42 in the morning, it's right here. The stock is 40 pennies. And he's saying entry price 21 cents. It's not even at 21 cents here. It drops to 36 and it goes up to here. And now it's 30 cents. So he's pretty much telling people to enter here. That's the most ridiculous thing. Now hold on. Let's see. Maybe this company has free cash flow. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm putting my foot in my mouth. Okay, let's open up the data, right? This company is free cash flow negative by $6 million. It's unprofitable. Let's go ahead and look at the Tri financial statement. Kind of freaking company is Buru anyway. Balance sheet. Look at how many assets there are to liabilities. You see how nasty that is? Freaking nasty. That means they have to freaking dilute shareholders is what they're going to have to do. Total assets, total liabilities. So total current assets, total current yeah, so they're going to have to dilute. So I bet you they probably diluted before. Stock dilution. As stock has been subject to dilution, there it is. So they've diluted shareholders before. How do I know this? Because it's what we teach. It's what we teach, guys. It's what we teach. And it's what we preach. They're most likely going to dilute again. So in any case, screw you for sending your little hooligans on my freaking subscribers on Twitter, I'm going to call your ass out, right? Because I'm sick and tired of scammers like you, right? Sick and tired of scammers like you. What the hell's wrong with his eye? Is he okay? What the hell's going on with his eyeball? Maybe one of his baby mamas. All right. So anyway, let's cut all this crap here. Yeah. So you guys can go ahead, go to my Twitter, and you can read my comment. I pretty much slice and dice everything he says from first principles. And I've been doing this for 14. But I've been doing this longer than he's probably. He was probably in high school, but since when I started doing this, so he needs to get the hell out of here. Okay, so anyway, let me just go ahead and exit this crap here. Okay, guys, and shout out to all the advocates here. Basil here for advocating. Okay. Let's see if you can do a deep dive in Clover. Let's see. Let's see what he says here. I don't have that many. There are plenty of pundits that are better suited to evaluate public markets stocks than me. I do agree that Counterpart is a good product. My main thought and reasoning for posting is a unique intersection of Reddit. Get out of here, dude. It's all we have left. That's all we have left. We have nothing else left to advocate for our patients. So we're going everywhere, right? Because we're sick and tired of administrators killing us. Okay. So anyway, let's go ahead and remove this, remove that, move this. All right. Now on a lighter tone, let me show you something. All right. It's amazing how we know how to do this and understand what you're talking about. You see, CLOV to Retirement is one of our lifetime members. You see exactly how you know what I'm talking about now? You speak the language of the balance sheet. You see how powerful that is? Excellent. He asked his kid to punch him, and his kid took him up for the offer, right? Get him out. So many fraudsters. Exactly. So I don't listen, guys. Listen, guys. For all the people out there that roll their eyes, that say, "Oh, here goes Al talking about his freaking platform." I get it. I don't blame you. I don't blame you for being skeptical. I really don't blame you. Okay. So for folks that just don't believe, I get it. Watch Clover in the next couple years, and you will soon believe. We're going to go ahead and talk about the Palantir integration right now with Clover. I wanted to make sure I take care of some freaking business here. Okay. Right. Yeah, no, sorry. I just got a little bit crazy, guys. Sorry about that. He really pissed me off. He really pissed me off, right? Everyone's got other right? When you talk to me about policy, I say no, right? Telling me that it's not helpful. Let's see here. It's going through the comments here. Wait, what? Is this true, James? Wait, hold on. It came from his son? Is that what they're saying? Poor guy, dude. He's got a black eye. I learned from a homeless man, and now I know what I'm doing. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? All right. So now on a lighter note, let me show you something that's funny. So you guys know B-Rob, right? This is B-Rob right here. Let me show you something. So for the folks that want to join our lifetime access, let me let me show you what you can expect. Here it is. Ready?
Hey, my name is BRO, and I'm a member of AL Stock Trade. Since joining, I've been surrounded by beautiful women. Since learning about intrinsic value, my life has changed. No more milking the cows, now I'm milking the options chain. Hey, my name is BRO, and I'm a member of AL Stock Trade. Since joining, I've been surrounded by beautiful women. Since learning about intrinsic value, my life has changed. No more milking the cows, now I'm milking the options chain. Hey.
Yeah, so he's milking the options chain now. No more milking cows. Obviously, this is AI generated, guys, okay? But like, look at this. Look at this. This is so freaking crazy. Look. Look at that smile. You know, when a man's got it, a man's got it. This man, B-Rob, he's got it. This is what happens when you join the Al Stock Trades platform. Yeehaw, right? Oh my God. Hold on. There's more. There's more. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. There is one, but it's very inappropriate. I'm not going to release it online. But for folks that want to see it, it's inside of the Research Edge. It's very inappropriate. It's very bad. We will not share that, but I will share another one. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it here. Hold on. Give me a moment here. One second. One moment. Okay, so we have this one here. We have this one.
Welcome to AL Stock Trades.
Here, then we already saw that one. We saw this one. Oh yeah, here's this one.
Hey, my name is BR Rob. I'm a member of Albert Stock Trades. Since joining, I've been surrounded by beautiful women. Since learning about intrinsic value, my life has changed.
There's one that's really inappropriate. We're not going to play that one. Here's another one.
What I swear, I've been learning about intrinsic value and fundamental analysis, and it's been life-changing money.
At this rate, the only men that we want to talk to
Wait, hold on. There's
are always. I started making life-changing money when I joined AL Stock Trades, learning about intrinsic value and fundamental analysis, and I'm inviting
So there's that, and then there's this one here.
point intrinsic value and fundamental analysis, inviting 2 other girlfriends to join the walk, and saying the only men they want to talk to are in Albert Stock Trades.
So yeah, I mean, the only men they want to talk to is part of the Al Stock Trades platform. I don't know, guys. Because of the future options chain, we're going to be shitting money after this, right?
Point intrinsic.
Oh, look, this girl looks like she lifts.
I started making life-changing money when I joined.
Here it is.
I started making life-changing money when I joined the Albert Stock Trades platform.
At this rate, the only men we want to talk to are the ones on Albert Stock Trades.
She got a goofy laugh. This one on the left side. Look at that goofy laugh right here. Look.
Talk to are the ones on Albert Stock Trades.
Yeah, no, that's my first name. Yeah. All right. Anywho, guys. So yeah, that's pretty much it right there. Looks like my wife with the lifting. Oh shoot. Oh shoot. She must have joined Al Stock Trades. I'm just kidding. All right, guys. So there's one that I'm not gonna play, but I'm gonna show you. This one here is incredibly inappropriate. We are not going to show this one. Okay. But for folks that are part of her lifetime, please watch it and let me know what you think. Okay. I'm going to just show you a little piece of it. That's it. Just the first 2 seconds.
Since learning about intrinsic value instead of milking cows.
All right. That's it. That's it. We're going to stop it right there. It's very, very, very inappropriate. All right. Look at these gold diggers, eh? All right, guys. All right, so anywho, just to lighten the mood from all the people out there trying to tell us, what we should do, right? Okay, so, all right, so let's go ahead and get to our serious mode. Okay. All right, let me drink some coffee here. Best lake in eastern Oklahoma. All right, so as you can see, really not, Clover's has dropped significantly to a low of $3.10 Don't forget the 52-week low is 90 cents, but honestly, a year and a month ago it was around 60 cents. So huge, big range there, guys. The question now is, when is Clover going to go up? Right? It already has, if you look at it from this perspective. But ultimately, when is Clover going to go up? Right? And to answer the question here is, there are a couple things that I'm looking at. First, alignment needs to go up in order for Clover to go up. And you've seen the past, I'd say month, alignment has been going down. It looks like it is recovering here. So potentially we may see alignment start to help us. Think of alignment as like a prognostic indicator, kind of like the M2 money supply and for Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin a prognostic indicator for the S&P 500. Another thing that just want to let you know I'm worried about is, I think there's going to be a drop in UNH in the future, probably sometime in June. Again, it'll take us some time to see if that will come true. But right now, what I want to focus the center discussion on is Palantir. When did Palantir start exploding? To answer this question, we're going to have to go to our mastering stock market softwares and course. We'll go to the financial data and analytics metrics chart. We'll go ahead and open up full screen and type in PLTR. We'll go access to quarterly, and we'll go ahead and take a look at net income. Now you tell me, when did net income turn positive? You see it down here, 2022 Q4. You can see it here. It turned positive right here for the first time ever. Just like, and you know what? Let me just open up another financial metrics analytic chart here. And we're going to go ahead and pull up Clover. Okay. Now you tell me, when did Clover turn net income positive? Q2. But it turned negative the next quarter. At least with Palantir, it went onwards that way. But you could see net income wise, Q2 is 7.4 million. That was last year, guys. That was last year. Okay. So what was the stock price of Palantir near Q4 2022 in December? It was around $6.42. So you can ultimately see it was literally near its low, even if it had 1 quarter of profitability. Now, a lot of people are saying, why is the stock down? It's being manipulated. Oh, we're going to die. Yada, yada, yada. I'm a retail investor. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, right? That's pretty much what that communicates to me, okay? To be very clear, let me explain to you what are the criteria that need to happen. In order for Clover to explode, OCF, FCF, and net income need to be positive for quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4, which then makes it positive for the full year. These 4 criteria need to be met. Obviously, if these criteria need to be met, then this will be met. And it needs to be positive in all metrics. Obviously, we could just remove FCF. We could just say FCF, because if OCF is positive, FCF will be positive. Or actually, that's not correct. If FCF is positive, then OCF will be positive. So these 2 things need to be positive on all 4 quarters. Once you get to that, then you start, making your money. So let's look at Palantir on free cash flow. You could see it was free cash flow throughout 2022, right? And we can extend the history to look at, when it flipped. It flipped really 2019, but it flipped in Q2 of 2020, going back and forth. As you can see, it needs to be continuous. Now, let's make it simple. Let's just kind of call it what it is. So for Palantir in 2022, it's been free cash flow positive, but yet the stock price is still, is still in the shitter. So what happened? Well, for the first time in Q4 2022, it turned positive. Then in Q1 2023, it was positive as well. But even then, the stock price went up about 30%, but it ended up falling down to $7.41. So, Q4 2022, Q1 2023, and a little bit of Q2 2023, the stock was still down, but it was still positive. It was still net income positive and free cash flow positive, right? And of course, operational positive. You can see here, right? So why? Like I told you, Wall Street puts it in a penalty box. It needs to be on all quarters to adjust for seasonality. All quarters need to be positive. So let's go ahead and open up a new software here. And let's kind of figure out, when did institutions start buying Palantir? Whoopsies. So we know that for Palantir, they experienced profitability for the first time in Q4 2022, which you can see here. So let's see ownership. So you can see it dipped. We could just kind of zoom in here. You could see in Q2 here, there was a dip. You see how it dipped? It dipped. There was a dip because they were unprofitable. But then ultimately, since they became profitable, they started, increasing their ownership. 31%, 32%, 32%, 32.8%, 31, 34, 37, right? And then by the end of 2023, they went from 31% to 40%. They increased by 10% because they were profitable in Q1 2023, Q2, Q3, and Q4. They met all the criterias. So by the end of 2023, Palantir was able to grow a lot because they showed 4 quarters of profitability. In fact, by Q3, they were able to grow because they had 4 quarters here, 4 consecutive quarters, but not in a fiscal year basis because Q4 2022 is in the year 2022. But you could say 4 consecutive, and you can see some stock price movement. So let me explain. So here's when they got their first Q that was positive. Then the stock, by the second quarter, the stock pretty much doubled, right? Because they got that second Q, right? And then by almost the third quarter, second to third quarter, $18. And then by the end of the year, and by the end of the year and the start of the first quarter of 2024, they were finally fiscal year 2023 positive on both an operational cash flow, free cash flow, and net income. And then the stock jumped from its bottom all the way right here to around 287%. Now, again, it started basically trading back to its SPAC dollars at around $10. Now, you might basically argue and say, well, Al, 282% is not a lot. But remember, Clover Health fell way low. Clover Health fell down to 60 pennies, right? Palantir didn't fall down to 60 pennies. It fell down to $6, okay? I think Clover has so much to gain to go back to where it started in SPAC levels. Okay. So now let's go ahead and kind of redo this, but look at it from this perspective. So let's go ahead and look at weekly. Let's actually look at the daily, and let's just move it here. Here it is. So this will tell me the earnings here. This is Q4 2022. This is when it experienced its first quarter of profitability. It went from $5.97 all the way to $10. It moved all the way to its SPAC level price. But then it fell to $7.45. And then the first quarter of Q1 of 2023, it exploded to $20. But then it fell. And then, Q2 2023, it was profitable. And it exploded back to $21. And then Q3, it was profitable again. And this time it exploded all the way to $25. And then Q4, it was profitable. And then, it went ahead and exploded to 27, started consolidating. And then finally, Q1 2024, ding, 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 ding. It just achieved a full year, fiscal year of profitability, of OCF positivity, and free cash flow positivity, and net income positivity. And then the stock went ahead and it exploded to $32. It did it again, and it continued gapping up. You see how there's a gap right there? It gapped up, and it keeps gapping up every time they're profitable. Same pattern. Earnings pop, right? So the point is, it took about, for Palantir, it took about 2 to 3 quarters of profitability for them to achieve crazy returns. Okay. So there's that. Right now, Q1 2025, Clover is negative 1.27. Now, the second quarter, because last year's second quarter was profitable, I think this next year's quarter may be anywhere between $10 to $35 million, right? $10 to $35 million, right? The $1 million question is, what is Q3 and Q4 going to look like for 2025? And if that's profitable, then we're pretty much setting ourselves up almost like a Palantirian approach. Peter, in his guidance for 2024 Q4 for 2026, he said that they're going to be profitable in 2026. You can go ahead and listen to it if you don't remember. I don't know if our AI, I don't know if our AI was able to catch it. Let me see. Let me see if our AI was able to catch it. Where is this, Peter? Is this Peter Pan? Okay. for acceleration of profitability in 2026 and beyond. We're excited about our strong positioning for acceleration of profitability. He said it under his breath, but I don't know if it caught it. Again, this is part of our earnings thing. You can use the generate insights for folks that don't, so, you access this for the add-on, but yeah, you guys get access to all this stuff here. Okay. And I built all this with my hands, right? Let me think. Yeah. So you can see we're on the verge, right? We're on the verge. We already did the mathematics here in regards to what it'll look like for Clover and kind of what I expect my portfolio to look like next year at 3.5 milli to 4.2 milli, and then obviously next year in 2027 should be anywhere between 7 to 8 milli. And it depends on kind of how it looks like. If it's still a value play, it'll be from $1 to $14. If it's a normal play, 2 to 20. And if it's a growth play, 3 to 29. But again, that's assuming a 36.7. Obviously, Clover is looked at now, if you look at analysts, it's looked at around a price to earnings around 42. But let's be honest, okay? Is it really going to be that? And that's the thing you have to ask yourself. Right now, UnitedHealthcare doesn't have price to earnings because it's still unprofitable. The only closest one is Oscar, which is right around the graph I showed you, which is 34.5 milli. Sorry, 34.5 price to earnings of, yeah. And this is like with a market that's down, such as with UnitedHealthcare. I think this is going to grow even higher. But let's just give you an example. Look at Palantir. Palantir's price to earnings is 520 freaking 7. That's crazy. Okay. Look at Tesla. Price to earnings is 203. I would say if we activate the SaaS and, we could be trading at a higher price to earnings. And the thing is, we could be trading 2 to 3 years ahead of free cash flow. And that's what I was alluding to when I was retweeting this comment here. This one here. So Clover is not being directly shorted. I mean, yes, there's a little bit of shorting going on, but how these hedge funds are able to short CLOV is very simple. What they're doing is they're shorting the ETFs. So if an ETF holds CLOV, what they do is they short ETFs. And yes, I showed you that diagram where hedge funds are shorting ETFs. Watch it in my previous video. I talked about it. So what they do is right now, the first battle is retail versus hedgies. Now, what I find interesting, is this is kind of weird. The stock price has been dropping, but yet Robinhooders, retail investors have been buying, including myself. On the public portfolio, I have about 325,000 shares now. With the other account, only specific to CLOV, that brings me to 425,000 shares. My goal, if I can, is get to 500,000 shares. Right? If I don't, hey, it is what it is. I tried. But so we don't know if retail is about to capitulate, but they have been buying. Now, if you look at Webull, I think they've capitulated on Webull because I feel like Webull attracts more traders than investors. There's a lot more technical analysis available on Webull, so it's really more of the traders, I would say. So with Robinhood, it's more long-term investors, I would say. At least that's the market that they're trying to penetrate, and that's from the CEO of Robinhood and what he said. Right? And again, I don't speak by opinion. I speak by facts, and I quote wherever I got the information from. And so you're starting to see people buy the dip. Okay. There's some things that we talked about in the internal live that we had for lifetime access members. We talked about the rule that I'm not going to be able to say online. I want to keep it internal to us. But it's the rule regarding the penalty zone for UnitedHealthcare. Okay. And that's what we're looking at right now. And there's a strategic time point when things will look more clearer. Okay. So, we have this maneuver in the S&P 500. We had a crazy 20% drop. Then we had a V-shaped recovery. I was looking for some dip, never happened, and now it looks like we're on our way to 6,000. I do believe in June we are going to get some dip. We need to get a dip. We need to reverse, and you can see the MACD is slowly starting to capitulate, and we're going to get that reversion. Once we get to that reversion to mid-June, okay, from July to August, we are going to peak. I think we can potentially make somewhat near a new all-time high in August. If we don't do it, we'll get to 6,100, which is right here, right there. And then we're going to fall. And I think we could fall all the way down to 5,600, if not 5,900. And then from September, October, remember those months are terrible for seasonality. From November onwards or late October onwards, we are going to get a huge back-ended rally. Santa Claus including, and it's going to be a jolly, merry frickin' Christmas. And for all the people that have taken advantage and buying into fearfulness, you will be heavily rewarded. You'll be heavily rewarded. Okay? Okay. V-Rob's in the house. What's going on, Vladimir? Say hi to Putin for me. Tell him to buy some glove. No. All right. So we're getting into a position, and I'm just letting you know right now. Let's look at CLOV when it entered Q2 last year. This was Q1. This was Q2. Okay. As soon as it was profitable, it exploded. And obviously this was a Vivek buy too, I think, right? So, but it definitely exploded. It went up a lot, right? I think right now we could consolidate, and we're okay. So hold on. Let me explain. This is hard to tell. So I'm going to just break this here. This is better if I had my iPad. You see this upper blue line here? And do you see this lower blue line here? The stock was trading in this range, and this is called a descending triangle. It broke out of this descending triangle, and then it exploded. Here's the upper triangle, here's the lower blue, and here's that triangle right here. Once it broke, it exploded. Let me explain to you now. So now I need you to take a look at these two lines. Let me make them both thick. I like them thick. I need you to look at these two white lines now, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, we are trading in between these lines. What does this look like to you? This looks like a descending triangle. And we are getting into a position where we are getting it. We're getting tight between these thick lines. It's going to become tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. And ultimately, we got to figure out when is the next earnings. So it's expected to hit in July. You can argue that my technicals were a little too off here. We can fix them here to make sure they all hit. We could say that hits. We can fix that. We could say here, end of July, but plus or minus, when was the earnings for Q2? It was August 5th. So August 5th is right here, right around here. So I think we're going to get to this descending triangle and we're going to explode. Now, why do I think it's going to explode rather than fall? Well, because it's going to be a profitable quarter. Now, if it's not profitable, then we're going to test 280, 250, right? Which goes back to, we're going to test this area here. I would say 259, right? This, I don't think we're going to test because it's in the growth phase, and Vivek bought at 180, and I assume he's going to buy again. Okay. Just thinking right now. Yeah. So I think we're going to test this and we're going to go up. So we're in this kind of descending. So in the next coming weeks, these are all buying opportunities. These are all buying opportunities, in my opinion. Okay. You see how you can use technical analysis? Again, we don't like to make it hard. We just make it simple. I've been doing, you see how my technical is simple? This was my buy zone. Okay. And if you extend it, the buy zone, we're below the buy zone. Now, just to clean up the chart, I'm going to remove this now. Okay. I'm going to remove this so we can clean this up. Okay. So I can analyze a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and see how this could be. So once this broke, we started falling. So we'll just kind of keep this here, and this will be kind of our historic analysis using a whole bunch of, really pattern recognition. So we're getting a descending triangle, and that's what we're doing right now. We're consolidating. Look at the RSI. It's beautiful. It's consolidating. Before, if you don't recall, the RSI at around 25 was, 60 cents. And now, the last time the RSI was, let me see, the RSI was around 37. A 37 RSI here was 88 cents. Right now, a 37 RSI is $3. So you can see how ultimately we need some consolidation. And that's what's happening right now. We're consolidating. The 200-day is moving up, and every time, right? Every day, the 200-day gets higher and higher, right? So that's what's happening, right? We're consolidating, and then we're just waiting until the next earnings. And just like how Q2 last year was profitable, we're going to explode, and I think that's what's going to happen. We're gonna get to it, and then we're going to explode up here, and I think this new level here, this descending triangle will be our new level of support, I think. So we'll see. So there's that. Oh, and another thing why, so we're going to go ahead now and take a look at Vanguard. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at Vanny here. And this is going to be interesting. So we're going to go ahead and just unshare the screen. We're going to do this here. We're going to play this out. Let me know if you hear it.
Now to a topic every company in the industry is talking about.
Let me make it slow.
That is artificial intelligence. And now we'll look at how AI is transforming that economy. Vanguard's global chief economist and global head of the investment strategy group there, Joe Davis, is with us. He's the author of Coming Into View, How AI and Other Megatrends Will Shape Your Investments. And Joe, it's nice to see you this morning. The big question I think that everyone's always trying to figure out is we always talk about AI in this sort of very broad context, but actually how folks who are sitting at home can actually decide one way or the other to invest or not in AI and what that actually really means, given that beyond the sort of, big names, the NVIDIAs of the world, the Metas of the world, the Amazons of the world, is there some other way in?
I think there is certainly some other way in, Andrew. And again, thanks for having me. If you can look out 3 or 5 years, and even if you're bullish on AI, you think it's going to transform the labor market, it's going to raise corporate earnings. History is very clear around technology, and that is as it spreads, it gets outside of the tech sector, outside of so-called Silicon Valley. And so it's other parts of the market, non-tech, non-Mag 7, which would continue to, at a lower discount rate, a lower price point, they would start to outperform. Think of a hospital, think of an asset manager or a bank. If AI is truly transformational, it should be raising the productivity of a lot of firms outside of tech.
And so how should, though, viewers think about that piece of it, which is to say, most people aren't investing in hospitals on the back of this idea that AI is going to somehow lower costs. Should they be?
I certainly think so. If you want to deviate from the market.
All right, so Andrew Sorkin just said something important. I'm going to go ahead and repeat it, just in case if you guys didn't catch that. Let's go ahead and repeat that.
People aren't investing in hospitals on the back of this idea that AI is going to somehow lower costs. Should they be?
I certainly.
What did he say right now at a minute and 39 seconds? Let's find it. He said, which is to say, most people aren't investing in hospitals on the back of this idea that AI is going to somehow lower cost. Should they be? Okay, now tell me what AI is going to help lower medical costs like hospitals. Is there an AI company that's doing that now? That's a rhetorical question, right? Clover Health is doing that, right? And like I said, between hardware and software, right now, Wall Street's investing its time and energy to invest in the hardware of AI, NVIDIA, right? The chips, AMD, right? Stargate, building out the infrastructure for AI. The next phase of investments are going to be the softwares of AI. Now, Palantir was a precursor of that, and you can see what happened there, right? Clover Health is going to be the derivative of what AI is going to gain. What is healthcare going to gain from usage of AI, right? While other companies are essentially using fax machines and trying to cut costs because they want to survive, Clover is in a different track record where they're focused on growth because their AI is able to decrease costs, right? So they don't have to worry about those issues, right? And the Vanguard gentleman, whom, as you can see in this tab, Vanguard has increased its position by 9.62%. Their average holding is $7. So if Vanguard is holding the bag, then why the hell are you bitching about it? Okay. Let's go back and let's listen. Let's repeat it and let's listen.
Think about that piece of it, which is to say, most people aren't investing in hospitals on the back of this idea that AI is going to somehow lower costs. Should they be?
I certainly think so. If you want to deviate from the market.
Of course, he certainly thinks so. Vanguard is invested in Clover Health a lot, actually. Let's continue.
think so. If you want to deviate from the market, you want to take a little incremental risk to outperform. History is very clear. Again, there's two phases to every tech cycle. The first phase is kind of the euphoria. The technology is spreading out. The tech sector tends to outperform, but it's that second half. If you look longer down the chessboard, you start to see the spread. We saw it with electricity, cars, personal computer. You start to see that disruption, and that's where the profitability outside of tech. You can think of a value index. You can think of more concentrated holdings, but you got to look over the production of technology and more the consumption. What are average companies doing with this technology?
Right.
Exactly, and this is what I was talking to you about, the two phases, right? Right. This guy, his name is Joe Davis. Joe Davis, Vanguard. He is the global chief economic officer, and I'm kind of curious, what's his net worth? Because he's obviously smart. His net worth is around 68 million. It's probably undervaluing him. Does this say Vanguard? No, it doesn't. I mean, this could be another guy. Curious to know. This is him right here. Yeah, I'm not too sure, guys, but the point is he was talking about two phases, and then who are going to be the consumers of AI. And that's ultimately, I believe, Clover Health is going to be one of them. And if it becomes a main player and you already are starting to see that it has industry-leading MCR, then I think we are going to get there, right? So another thing that I want to talk about, a lot of folks have stated that there could be a recession this year. I'm in the camp that no, there is not going to be a recession this year. And I hope that as time goes on, you will see it too. Hopefully before the end of the year. But if not, I get it. Everyone has an opinion on the market, which is understandable. It was a very resilient market, and it definitely showed that it is definitely resilient. But ultimately, let me go ahead and stop the sharing of the screen and share a normal screen here. As you can see, this is a very, very hated stock market rally. I mean, look at the number of bears. I mean, the bears are coming back, right? If you look at 2020, the rally had a lot of bears. A lot of people hated the 2020 rally. If you look at 2022's rally, a lot of bears were there. And if you look at 2025, this rally, a lot of bears are here as well. And we're in a position now where the market's shifting. Stocks are going down, but yet retail is buying the dip for Clover specifically. This is for Clover, right? That's kind of weird, isn't it? And what that tells me is it goes back to what this guy was saying. Hedge funds are in major trouble and are close to going on a major chase buying spree. Leverage stands at 74% on the prime book, and the LS book is at a mere 50%. This is worst case for money managers. What this basically means is that a lot of bears that are hedge funds that have been shorting the market, they're going to have to start chasing this rally. And what that means is they're going to have to start just buying what they can buy, right? And try to have psychological dips to try to shake retail out. But retail has been hanging on, right? Just ask yourselves this question. 5 years ago, did you have a channel like this that broke down institutionally graded data? I mean, heck, you literally are having data directly from Wall Street. I mean, look at all these calculations that we're doing. This is legit hardcore financial analysis. This is like hardcore, right? And ultimately, look at your guys' performance. Overall, the market's going to do well, right? You're going to do well because, you're hanging on, you're buying low and averaging down whenever you can. I was able to take advantage of the dip. I hope you were able to as well. So we pretty much talked about a lot of what I wanted to discuss. One moment here. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So for folks that are interested, this will be expiring soon. This is one of the biggest sales that we have. Use coupon code SAAS. You'll get $1,200 off. Take advantage. Join our platform. We have a net worth of $45 million in our platform. Not even a country club is going to cost this cheap in America, which is why prices will be increasing. You're entering a group of elite folks that not only just have a lot of money, they truly care about their members and they're willing to teach. Today, we just had one of our members have a nice live to talk about the technical analysis of Clover Health. The goal is to have this live channel in our platform ongoing 24/7. Having the American side active doing research, and then having the European and China and Russia and other Middle East get activated when America's sleeping. And then that's going to be recorded, right? And that's going to be sent in to our online platform. So when America wakes up, they can see the due diligence of what the other side of the world did, and vice versa. We're creating a platform where it is becoming a hub of value investors. And it's not just value investors that are just on a blog. No, we're powered by over 2.5 billion outputs of institutionally graded data. I think now, because we're international, I think now we're probably over 5 billion outputs, if not over 10 billion outputs, right? So I have to calculate it, but we're in 44 countries now. So we have a lot going for us. Okay, guys? But yeah, so for folks that are interested, come now before it's too late, before you're priced out of lifetime, because it will happen. And it's because the data is expensive. And just like the Renaissance technology firm closed down, we're going to be basically closing our doors, right? As you can see from our analysis and our proof of concept and what we've done, you've seen that everything we've been saying is data-driven. Nothing is said by hype. It's all, corroborated with research and really high usage of data analysis. That's all I have for you guys. I guess in closing, just really quickly, if Clover ends up doing 25% of Palantir's PE, that's 134. If we take 134 divided by 2, that's 67. If we put 67 here, we're looking at anywhere between $7 to $54. And it looks like $54 by 2024, around 40 to 50. Right? And that's if the market sees it as that. As of now, we're just going to say from our graph. So lots of money is going to be made. Love you, man, and love the community you created for us. You guys did it yourselves. You created this community. And it's only as good as the work that you put in it. We have a wonderful community, and this is what life is all about, right? So if you're out there, if you're lonely, if you want a group of people that you can connect with on a deeper level, a place where you can make money, and not just make money from a bank account standpoint, but more mentally as well, We have members that are in their 50s and 60s that provide a lot of wisdom that I've learned a lot from. This is the platform to help you with your mind, body, spirit, and emotion. God bless you all, and I'll see you on the next one.